Hi, I'm joined by Roy Firestein, CEO and co-founder of Autohost, the next gen identity verification for short-term rentals. So, Roy, are you seeing an increase in fraud or high bookings across the industry? And which trends specifically stand out?
The numbers are going up. I'll give you a quick example. Airbnb reported $163 million in chargeback related expenses in their 2023 filing, which is up 31% from just 2 years before that. In our own data, about 1 in 27 screened guests, they show an elevated risk signals. So that's about 55,000 high-risk bookings in 2025 alone that could have gone undetected without screening. You know what? I'll give you something else. Direct bookings are the biggest blind spot for most companies we see, which is kind of surprising because you'd expect them to be your loyal guests. But in our data, direct and manual bookings have more than 31% chance of being a high risk reservation. Compare that to about 5% from OTA bookings like Airbnb and VRBO. So the industry, the push towards direct bookings, which makes total sense for margins, has a hidden risk. And most operators aren't thinking about it until it happens.
So, Roy, one thing that is on a lot of property managers' mind is AI and how not only what it means for their business, how they can leverage it, but curious if AI has also affected fraud.
Oh boy. So here's the reality. Fraudsters adopted AI faster than the industry adopted defenses or AI tools for that matter. So you can actually buy a complete fake identity kit powered by AI, which gives you a synthetic face, forged documents, a deep fake voice for less than what a one night booking costs. It's a full SaaS service run by fraudsters. So defense has to be multi-layered. That's what we've built. It's not like check an ID. It's a biometric liveness detection to confirm you're a real human. We're using AI-powered document authentication that catches things that the human eye can't. Behavioral risk scoring that evaluates the full booking, and device fingerprinting that identifies repeat bad actors across properties. The key insight is that AI lets us do this at scale without adding guest friction. The same technology that makes fraud easier also makes screening faster and smarter. A system that would have taken a human analyst 30 minutes to evaluate, AI can do this in seconds.
So there's upsides and downsides basically of AI because it's increasing the threat of fraud, but also it's giving more tools to property managers to prevent. Um, okay, so let's go back to what AutoHost does and talking about a little bit more about guest screening. So why, in your opinion, why is guest screening and guest verification so important?
Well, the obvious risks are real. Chargebacks, property damage, parties. One of our customers calculated that they were losing more than $2,500 a month to fraud before implementing screening. A party incident averages over $4,000 in insurance claim and then everything around it. But honestly, the financial risk is only the starting point. Um, Here's what surprises most people. Multiple luxury operators have told us that the number one reason they don't use screening isn't guest protection, it's owner confidence. So when you're pitching a property owner to join your portfolio, being able to say every guest is verified before they even get a key code is a competitive advantage. One operator managing more than 250 homes told us, I wasn't even aware uh, that anything like this existed for holiday guests. And once they saw it, it became standard practice. And it's part of their pitch for every owner. You know what? The interesting is that when every guest knows they're being verified, it changes the behavior. We see this in the data. Our customers' chargeback rate is significantly lower, which is 30 times better than what most companies go through today when it comes to chargebacks. So this isn't just fraud prevention, that's the signal of an overall guest quality improving.
Super interesting. So better guest quality and better reviews. Really interesting. Uh, let's go on to the next question. So can you tell us how guest verification works with Breezeway and what are the steps, the basic steps of how the flow works?
The whole point of the Breezeway integration is that screening is not a separate part or a separate step someone has to remember to do. It's built into the workflow. So here's what it looks like. A booking comes from whatever channel, Airbnb, VRBO, or direct, doesn't matter. Our host automatically pulls the reservation data and runs the initial risk analysis. We're looking at hundreds of signals, but I'll move on. Based on the risk score, the guest gets a verification request. And for most bookings, this is very light. For higher risk signals, it might ask for ID verification or a selfie match. Now, the guest completes the verification on their phone. It typically takes under 2 minutes. The results flow directly back into the Breezeway dashboard. Your team sees a clear status, approved or needs review. It's part of the same operational dashboard they're already used to utilizing in their day-to-day tasks and guest communications as well. So if something needs attention, the right person gets notified through the same system, no switching between platforms. So what Breezeway does really well is turn property operations into a repeatable workflow. What we add is the trust and safety layer inside that workflow. Together, property manager has a complete picture from booking to checkout. So the guest is verified, the property is inspected, the tasks are assigned, and communication is handled all in one place.
All right, fantastic. All right, so that's from the property manager's side, but what does the process look for guests when they're getting verified? Walk us through that.
Um, every hotel in the world checks your ID at the front desk. Nobody calls that a bad guest experience. So what we've done is make the same process digital, faster, and less intrusive than standing in a lobby line. The guest as never has to hand in their passport to a stranger or wait for someone to photocopy it. And there's a flywheel effect that operators discover. When you screen guests, you get better guests. Better guests leave better reviews. Better reviews attract more quality bookings, and your average guest quality goes up. Your incident rates go down, and your team spends less time on damage control and more time on hospitality, on guest experience. One customer told us that their guest satisfaction scores went from 3.2 to 4.7 out of 5 after implementing screening. So that's what you have to expect.
Okay, great. And then for those guests who potentially aren't comfortable completing it, what is sort of the response and do you see a lot of guests who don't want to verify in this manner?
Yes, it's a small group. Usually we see that around 3% out of all the bookings. And there are two primary groups that comprises this pool of people. One are the fraudsters, and they're the ones that are going to play the delay tactics or try to use emotional leverage and urgency to get your team to let them go through without screening. Now, on the other hand, you have privacy conscious people that don't want to go through this, or elderly folks that don't understand how to. And those usually, are easy to understand and detect. And they, by most privacy regimes, we are required to give them an alternative approach, which is fair. The point is that 97% of all bookings are now automatically screened and reviewed, which reduces a significant workload from your team.
Last question. Again, AI is on everyone's mind. What are some of the benefits of that AI has brought about for guest screening and ID verification? What are you most excited about?
Well, my background is in cybersecurity, and it's always a race between the bad guys and the good guys, where each side is racing to adapt new technologies to defend and to attack. So there's a bit of excitement from this, but most of all, the new opportunities that the technology unlocks for us, from going deeper and creating more products, better products, faster, and iterating on them quickly for the benefit of our customers. Potentially reducing costs in parts of our infrastructure, thanks to being able to build new platforms that we had to pay third-party companies for. So those savings can translate back to our customers and the guests as we all work towards building new technologies and improving our system.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Roy, thanks so much for joining and talking more about guest screening and ID verification. Appreciate your time.
Anytime.